Hey guys, we haven't posted anything for a while, basically because I just haven't been around. I've been away for 3 out of the last 4 weekends, and we've had short weeks and been busy at work, so just haven't got to anything. But now I've got a period where we're at home for quite a while, so I'm going to rip back into it again. In this one, I'm going to replace this panel here. I've got it back from Ulrich, and I'm going to do some of these smaller panels as well. And the roof repair, we need to put some filler in it and get that into primer, which is the goal by the end of this one. Also, one thing we've noticed with the stats is that half the people watching us aren't subscribing, so if you like it, please subscribe, it really helps us. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, I'm going to have a go at this panel below the window here, which slots up underneath there, as you can see. This panel's really badly rippled all the way through, and I've got some offcuts, so we might as well replace it. And it goes under the big panel, so we're probably better off to do this first. And at the same time, I'm going to have a go at the roof as well, so while the filler's going off, I can be working on this panel. Okay, this is this panel that we fabricated and stuck in a couple of weeks ago. It still looks pretty strong. So what I'm going to do is take these rivets out, which were just holding it while the panel bond went off. Then I'm going to get a die grinder and whip around this and just clean it up, and we'll start putting some filler in it. Just taking these rivets out. I'm going to have to be really careful what I use here, because this alloy is very, very old and I don't want to go through it. So I'm picking right angle die grinder with like a Scotch-Brite pad on it. Yeah, okay, we'll give that a go and see how it works. Alright, I've managed to get this sanded down without too much carnage or going through anywhere. And as you can see, it's only less than a mil that we've got to put the filler in. So I'm just going to mix a bit up and throw it in there now. Okay, I'm going to use this 3M Platinum Plus filler. It's really good. I've used it a bit before, and it's real easy to use. So I'm just going to mix this up. Going. Now I'm certainly no panel beater, so we'll see how this goes. Alright, first layer of filler on there. As you can see, I'm certainly no panel beater and should have stopped before it started going off, trying to spread it, but that'll sand out alright. I'm sure any panel beaters are laughing like hell watching this, but anyway, we'll sand it out and give it another couple of coats. And while that's going off, I'm going to have a go at that panel below the window. Okay, this is one of the offcuts from the bottom sheets that were done. Which I kept, but stupidly I've left them sitting in the trailer for probably a month, and they've got a bit of shit on them, so anyway, they should be okay. So I'm going to pattern this out and cut it out, and we also have to remember to allow for the fold, which looks like probably almost about 20 mil there. So I'm going to have a go at that now. Normally I'd film the whole thing, but my little cameraman had his first game of rugby this morning and his batteries are flat. Oh look, our little rugby players made it, so now I've got somebody to film us making this piece. Okay, as I was saying, we need to allow for this fold. So I'm just going to set it with the square. Looks pretty consistent all the way through. And as I thought, it's about, well, 22 mil. So I'm going to set that. And what I'm going to do is grab a Sharpie and run a line down here so we can allow for it. That's about as long as what it is, isn't it? Yeah. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put the piece on top of that line and mark around it. And we'll cut it out with probably with the jigsaw, I think, so this way it up. Now you just see here there's a little bit where it's not folded. That's just to where it doesn't have a fold going over the top. Put a line there. That's because the other bit that overlaps is the fold is going to go into that area. Alright, that's our piece marked out. I'll grab the jigsaw and I'll cut it out. Alright, we're chopping and changing a little bit here, but sort of better come up and sand off the filler that we've put on. And look, we've almost nailed it really on the first coat, but I could go for a fine filler straight away, but I'm just going to build it up with one more coat and then we'll go to a fine filler after that. Alright, that's our second coat there. There's a couple little lows in there, but we'll probably get that with the fine filler. But otherwise, pretty good really. And like I say, this is a really nice filler. It's really easy to sand and work with. So yeah, once this one's sanded off, then we'll hit it with a fine filler and one or two coats of that, then it should be good to go. Just another quick thing while I'm here that I saw online, which is really good. For cleaning off these things that you spread your fill around with, just hit them with a bit of old thin as they come up like brand new, and it saves a lot of mucking around, scraping with razor blades and things. Alright, it's actually the next morning here. I've just put another coat over this, which I'm pretty happy with now. So we're going to go for some fine filler. There's a couple of low spots there, which the fine filler will take care of. So I'll mix some of that up and stick it up here now, and then I'll go back down and fold up, cut that panel out and fold it. This is our finishing filler which we're going to use. I've seen a few clever guys on YouTube using it, so it's goes on really wet but sort of self-levels, and I'll just take care of all those little imperfections. I've just put this on, I've put it on pretty thick, but it doesn't matter because it's really easy to sand out. There's a wee little pinhole that I just found there as well, which we'll have to, I'm not sure if that's the right way to fill it, otherwise I will put a little bit of silicone in that one. Alright, we'll let that go off and come back up and sand it. I've just cut this piece out and filed up all the edges and everything, so we need to put a bend in it here, so it's got that return so it can fold under the panel that's below it. So we'll just put this in now. when we bend this has got to go all the way around and back onto itself again, which is where we're going to find the limitations of this bender, because it can really only go to about 135 degrees. Or even just 90 by the looks of it. Okay, I might get something heavy and just try and bend it that little bit further. Alright, I'll have a play with it and come back. Okay, I've managed to bend this over. I've just sort of had to go along, and when it was still clamped in here, I just tapped it up a little bit with the hammer, which didn't affect the other side of it because it was clamped hard down, and then I've just gone along with my hands and panel hammer and that and bent it down. So this side is a little bit ripply, but the front side is mint. Okay, we've got it in. I'm pretty happy with it. It's obviously way better than what was there. It's just that radius is a little bit too round, but that's just the limitations of the bender that we've got. I might be able to sort of work that in a bit just to make it better, which is getting ready actually. Okay, I haven't attached it in there, it's just sitting there loose at the moment because we've still got to put this piece on here. So yeah, we're going to have to cut that one out, which we'll do next. I've just finished sanding this down. It's come up pretty well really. So I'm just going to wipe it down with some wax and grease remover and throw a bit of primer on it, and then we can consider that done. All done. I'm pretty happy with it really. As I've said before, we could have done this in minutes instead of hours by filling it up full of silicone, but it's just not the way we do things, and I would never have been happy with it. This is a good solid repair, which is, you know, strong and watertight and will last for many, many years. Alright, we're just getting back onto this now. We've just been to the boat show for a few hours looking at all the stuff we can't afford, so back to reality. Now this is the next sheet I want to put on, which is the one that I've had made up, or folded up at Ulrich. The issue that I've got, this is the old one. Let's try and get it right in. So this was made back in the day of imperial sheets, so this is 2440 wide, but the one I've had made is only 2400, so we've got a 40mm difference. Now unfortunately this morning, and I'll just walk over here, when I made that panel, and you'll notice I've just popped the window out, I didn't think of it. What I probably should have done was made that one 20mm longer, and then this panel here, I could just make that one 20mm longer there. But because I don't really want to make that again, I'm gonna pattern this off this one so it meets that edge down there. So I'm gonna copy that exactly the same. And then on this side I'll do the same thing, but it will be 40mm shorter there. And when I make this panel here, I'm just going to make that basically 40mm longer. Now nobody's ever going to notice that because it's down the bottom of the window. And in hindsight, if I'd done that to this one over here, it would have come up to, you know, sort of where it starts to curve. So it's probably not a bad thing. So, right, I'll get all these on the bench and we'll start marking them out. I've just finished cutting this out. hopefully it's going to be alright. So we'll just cut it out with a jigsaw and giving it a file up, and get my little helper and we'll stick it up there. After a lot of cursing and swearing, I have finally got this thing in. Not as bad as last time, but still a bit of a nightmare. So we'll just go past the hoist post here. I'm just starting to pop this window back in. So that panel there, so everything's nice and straight now. I mean, by nature of the way they're built, there's going to be some ripples, but it's nothing like what it was. So I'm just going to pop these two windows back in, and then yeah, next project is just this bit here, but that's not going to be tonight. Right, the windows are back in now, as I need to do, because we've got to put it outside because it's work tomorrow. We've got to pull cars in here to clean. When you're restoring these things, especially if you're reskinning them, you get very used to taking the windows in and out multiple times. That one's got to come out again next time. That one can stay in there, but will have to come out when we paint it. Unfortunately, to do this piece here, I have to take that flashing off. But it's probably only a couple of rivets really, so we don't have any choice. And that window has to come out, and that window probably has to come out as well. So yeah, we'll do that not tonight because it's bare o'clock. And then once that's done, we can throw it all back together. Right guys, look, that's probably enough for this one. We'll try and keep them a little bit shorter. Next time we're going to, as I've just said, do this, take the flashing off, and then once we've made that bit and fitted it, we'll put everything back together. And then we just start sanding the roof ready for paint. As I said at the start, please subscribe. We need as many subscribers as we can, and give us a like, even if it's only a sympathy like my brother tells me he gives me every time. Those would be appreciated too. Alright, catch you on the next one.